All right, what up YouTube? Happy New Year's, guys. Happy 2020. Welcome back to the Fluxathon. So this is video, I believe, number 8 or number 9. I'm not sure. We got a lot coming. So this is an awesome mini-series because we were lucky enough to get Dan Keller from Flux on the show. So this is just a 15-part mini-series with Dan. He is the co-founder of Flux and one of the awesomest dudes you'll ever meet. So definitely swing over to Twitter if you haven't. Follow him, DAK_Flux. And then also check out Run on Flux. And might as well, while you're over there, swing by @ShotsByMeta. Hit that like, hit that follow button. Drop a comment below. Let us know what you think about the current status of the crypto market. Do you think decentralization matters, or do you think people are just going to chase the money? So in today's video, we're going to do a deep dive into what it actually means to be decentralized and standing up nodes. That's where I really wanted to actually understand, like when you stand up a node, when people are talking about capping the amount of validators over on Solana, or Avalanche just had a cap, I think, at 30 validators. If you can't add infinite amount of nodes, that means that not anybody can come secure the network. So I believe that what Flux can do is actually add additional nodes for different blockchains to help them become more decentralized, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that. We're gonna dive deep into it today, guys, but you guys gotta do me a favor. Don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor. I do not give investing advice. I do not advise that you buy, sell, trade, or hodl any cryptocurrency. You always need to consult with your own financial advisor before making any investing decisions. With that being said, So these proof of stake chains, right? Who controls the voting power? It's the nodes, right? The nodes that are securing the network, right? Not the token holders.
No. And you know who controls the nodes?
Yeah, the VCs.
Well, VCs are the project themselves, right? So if you look at Binance Smart Chain, you know, the nodes, we have reached out to Binance multiple times to ask to run one of their Binance Smart Chain nodes, and they won't do it because they control basically all the stroke. Right. I mean, if you want to look at it this way, proof of stake really took legacy institutional know-how and dropped it on top of blockchain under the guise that it's decentralized. But it's really just legacy infrastructure. I mean, what Solana's doing and DeFi, a lot of those pieces can be traced back to legacy infrastructure, which is fine as long as you're working toward a decentralized process in the end. But call it for what it is.
Yeah, 100%.
It's legacy, right? So as you see, like projects like Luna. You see projects like KDA, Flux, all these other projects that their mission isn't mass adoption on a legacy level, but it's mass adoption on the decentralized level, on the end user level. That's where you're really going to see a lot of success. And I think what you'll see is, you know, we're willing to work with anyone. You know, if Luna came tomorrow and said, hey, we want to launch a stable asset on Flux and we want to, we would absolutely work with them. You know, Poly is another one we have started to have conversations with. You know about Cadena and Cadix and all that ecosystem. And we've even had conversations to a certain extent with Solana. So, you know, I think over the next, if you thought 2021 was a big year for Flux, that isn't anything. 2022 is going to change the game. And I mean it when I say this, because people are like, how long do you think this Web3 is going to take? And I'm like, you're going to see mass exodus within a year. Like, I truly believe that. And, you know, if you're watching and paying attention to what's happening right now, you're already beginning to see people who have no freaking clue what Web is or what it does becoming educated about Web3. Hell, Elon Musk was tweeting about it yesterday, which I'm no fan of Elon Musk, but guess who showed up in his DMs with, 800 different tweets, It's the Flux crew. You know, they're like, hey, you're talking about, I think his statement was about it not being decentralized. And they're like, no, bullshit. It is, and here it is, right? And, you can pretend that it doesn't exist, right? But it does exist.
100%.
And, so.
If you could pick, like, I hear you talk about kind of the same projects, right? Cadena, Solana, Cosmos, Polkadot. Let's start with like the top 5, right? If you could pick 3 things from each project that they could come to Flux and would make their project bigger or better, what would you cherry pick from each project that you would like to integrate with Flux? It would be Solana and their NFTs, Cadena with their scalability, Cadix with their cross-chain DEX. Like what? Let's start with you pick. Want to start with Polkadot? What do you like? What is it that you like best about Polkadot, and what do you think you guys could help them do?
Well, I think we could bolster their DeFi push, because I think what they're working on and goes very well with our ethos. They're innovators and they're kind of pushing the envelope in different areas, and they don't always have the best infrastructure. And I think we could help shore up pieces of their infrastructure. I'm very interested to see where that project goes, because I think it's definitely going to be one of the leaders in the end, And when I say leaders, like, it's not, I mean, they're going to be innovators, right? So again, I don't think there's competition in any of these areas. I think it's opportunity. They are very agile as well. If you look at what they're doing, they don't wait around to institute things. They get it done fairly quickly. And I think that is super important.
That's huge.
And
now, am I understanding this right about Polkadot? Is they have Polkadot's quote unquote, now I've just heard this for the first time yesterday, is what they call a layer 0, right? And because of their parachains are actually going to be layer 1s. So they can have literally 100 different layer 1s, like Moonbeam or Moon River is going to be a layer 1. And then Moon River would be the same kind of thing as like Ethereum in the long term. Like that could scale and grow that big, like an entire ecosystem in each one of those parachains. Is that how I'm understanding that?
That's how I see it too. Like, part of it's buzzwords too. Like, do you really need to be called layer 0? Just say that you're going to scale and this is how you're going to scale. Like, you don't need to be under layer 1.
Yeah.
We're layer -5. You know what I mean? Like, no, it doesn't work like that, man. Like, just call it what it is, right? It's scaling. Their parachains are super interesting to me, and it's one of the reasons why we picked them to be added to the Flux ecosystem. Is I think you could see some development in the future with their parachains, and especially with Zelcore and Flux. So they're exciting. Definitely one that is in my top 5.
And you guys are already working with them, correct?
To a certain extent, you can already run one of their nodes on Flux as well if you want to participate in the network. So yeah.
Polkadot is a parallel asset on Flux?
Will be. It will be, yes. It's one of the next ones. So,
and does that mean that every parachain can then be held in Zelcore because it is a parallel asset?
Yep.
Oh, gosh damn, man. Zelcore is going to be the greatest crypto wallet in I think history, man.
Yeah, we just hired a project lead who is going to redo the UI UX. So I'm really looking forward to that happening as well, because we've got it functionally to the place where we want it. Now we want to, make it super easy to use and very pretty. Take it away from that 2019, 2020 feel into like a 2030 feel. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, push it and advance it. I would say, and then we're kind of getting back to your original question, I would say the next one would be that I'm highly interested in is Poly, and for obvious reasons. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know that I need to explain that. Poly has a lot of things going on, and we've already started to institute the Poly network in Zelcore for lower gas fees and so on and so forth. So we're already taking steps to work with them and really advance into their ecosystem. I would say, the next one up would probably be Avalanche, which is, again, they're doing some unique stuff, some stuff that we really like, especially around their DeFi components and things like that. And I think you could see Flux flourish on their network and them on ours as well. So you could see maybe the node structure there at some point as well. And then my number 2 would probably be Solana, and for obvious reasons. And you mentioned NFTs. We are working on getting ready to deploy NFTs in Zelcore, and you've seen the screenshot of what it's going to look like. It's pretty damn sexy.
Oh, and badass, man.
The other thing is we're going to utilize their NFT system. Flux is going to be the back end that runs the hosting of those NFTs that are tied to the Solana chain, and Zelcore is going to be the gateway. So you're going to be able to hold, view, trade, sell your NFTs directly from Zelcore. So that's what it looks like for Solana.
So then I'll be able to mint Solana NFTs on Flux's platform, or just I'll still have to mint them on Solana and I can hold them in Zelcore?
You're going to mint them on Solana's platform, and you're going to maintain the back-end data on Flux's network and be able to access it all inside of Zelcore.
So that means no centralized party can shut those down ever. So I never have to worry about my NFTs disappearing.
Bingo.
Oh, that's a game changer, man.
Fix is a glaring issue, and that is, people are spending a crap ton of money on these NFTs, but what can you do on chain versus what you could do off chain? So if you want to do a mini series and you want to create an NFT out of that and then be able to allow people to capitalize on that, or if you're a content producer, let's say, you create, a rap song or music or something like that, and you want that to be able to deploy as an NFT, that content needs to be stored somewhere. And that's a third party at this point, right? With Flux, that becomes a decentralized computational network, Web3 based, right? But what it does is it creates the opportunity to get it off of third-party centralized infrastructure and get it onto Flux. Solana is one that we really like working with, and then our number one is obviously KDA. We love working with KDA. Those guys, I do believe what they've done is figured out how to scale layer 1, which makes a lot of this other layer 1 talk not really matter that much. You know what I mean? But again, like we talked about yin and yang, I think there are opportunities where it's a proof of work side of the house, proof of stake side of the house, and then them working together. But KDA is smart enough to figure that out, right? Yep. They have already figured it out. They have already figured figured out how to partner with folks like us to provide a deeper level of decentralization. So, I think in the end, if there's anyone that's going to dethrone Ethereum, and I don't think Ethereum goes away completely, but I do think it becomes less relevant than it is today. It's KDA. It is. It's KDA. And because of the way that they were launched, because of the fact they're mined and proof of work and they're not a security, I think that bodes very well for them. So the only downfall I see with KDA and challenge is it's super complex to use. I think they're working on a more unified approach so that people understand it a little bit more like crypto that we deal with. But I mean, most people don't understand 20 chains. Most people don't understand all these different pieces to the platform. What are K addresses versus standard addresses? What is this? What is this? So I think they have a lot of work to do in their message, much like Flux does. But in the end, I think they're going to be one of the leaders. So that's really my list of 5.
That's huge, man. I think that Flux is going to make each one of those projects better. And I think that as new projects start getting developed, that like when I think about ordering something online, right, it's just Amazon. I don't think, I just get on there because it's just so convenient, easy, and I know what I'm getting, right?
Yep.
I think that as the industry watches the biggest players in the industry start going down this rabbit hole, you guys are going to have like a waiting room around the building of projects that are just new projects that are like, it doesn't make sense to not do this from the beginning, right? Instead of being 2 years into your project and going, oh shoot, now we want to move over to Flux. I think you're going to have a list of people that are just like, all right, how do we do this from this and just grow and scale right from the beginning on your guys' platform.
Ryan, what if I tell you that list of people that are standing around asking for guidance has already grown exponential. And these are folks that are legacy-based systems. These are cloud providers. These are those third-party gateways that we talked about, those toll keepers. Mm-hmm. They're trying to figure out how this all plays into for them long run.
I agree.
And they see a challenge, but they also see opportunity.
If any regular legacy business over the next 5 years choose to ignore blockchain, I say they're extinct in 10.
You're done. Yeah.
If you choose to ignore this technology.
Navigator. Yeah, your Netscape Navigator. I mean, back in the day, Ryan, Netscape was as big as they got. AOL was as big as they got,
You remember Web TV?
Oh yeah, I remember Web TV.
Web TV was that was right before, like as AOL was just coming around, man. You had a little keyboard, you put a little thing on top, antenna on top of your TV, and you could surf the web, man. That was it. That was Web 1 at its finest,
Internet for your TV.
The internet on your television. What an interesting idea. Haven't you ever wondered what the internet's all about? Have you ever wanted to explore it but don't have a computer? Or you have a computer and you're looking for an easier way to surf the net? Well, guess what? You've come to the right place. Because here, not only will you find your answers, you'll discover answers to questions you didn't even know existed.
That was legit. Little box and then...
reading a lot of those endless main pages that just scrolled forever, you're just kind of looking through, and sometimes you got pictures, you could enlarge the picture. That's about as good as
if you were lucky. You had to wait 3 minutes for the pixel to actually load onto your screen.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's hard to believe that we came from that. And that's what's so exciting about Web3 is people can't envision where this will go. I have a vision in my mind of where it will be, and it looks so much different than where we are today.
All right, YouTube. So that's a wrap. If you guys want to see these interviews before I actually launch them, or just bits and pieces, I try to drop some breadcrumbs over there on Twitter. Swing over to Twitter at ShotsByMatt. I'd be greatly appreciative if you guys could do that for me, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you guys didn't catch my breaking crypto news video 2 days ago, swing by and check it out. I gave you guys a lot of shout outs, especially everybody that signed up for my crypto coaching classes. You guys mean the world to me. I can't thank you guys enough, and can't wait to see where Flux is going to take this. So definitely drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about the current status. Do you think the market is going to go more towards decentralized or more towards centralized? I personally am betting on the centralized way. Like, I'm definitely stacking K, right? No questions asked, to the frickin' moon. But I'm not going to be naive enough to just say I'm not playing that game because they're not decentralized, because I think that a lot of people are going to be chasing the money. So I think it's going to really boil down to who markets and who scales and who innovates the fastest, right? So whatever teams have been marketing really well, and I'm seeing parabolic dumps down right now, I'm packing my bags on them because we got a little taste of what the market's going to look like, right, on these bullish sprints. So if these coins are bullish and they're delivering and they're developing, check out GitHubs, right? Hopefully we can get Dan back back on the show to do a deep dive into what it's like to dig into GitHub. How do you actually analyze a blockchain and figure out what is going on with it, how it's going on? And yeah, I definitely would love to dive into GitHub, and I know Dan's the man that can deliver it for us. So hopefully you'd like to see Dan back on the show. Drop a comment below. Actually tweet and tag him on Twitter. Tell him we want some GitHub help. Love you guys. Swing over and don't forget to check out Flux's new Zelcore updates. They got some big announcements coming up with Zelcore. So love you guys. Can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Peace.